Linda. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are going to tackle the rainy fall day with one of my family's favorite, a tater tot casserole. If you're from up north, you might call it a hot dish. Here we call it a casserole, and it is not typically very good for you, but I'm going to do a few things to make it a little bit healthier and still eat lots of tater tots on top. So the first thing we do is we start with our ground beef. So here I have a pound of ground beef and I'm adding it to my skillet. I'm using my cast iron today. I use that empty bowl for a spoon rest today. And I'm just going to season that up with some cookies seasoning. I thought I would share with you. This stuff is really good. I get it in the big thing and I decant it in the little thing, so I've got room in my kitchen. But this takes the place of the salt and pepper, and it has a little bit of heat, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of onion, and it's really great on beef in particular. You can use it on a lot of things. So we're gonna just brown this ground beef. So now my ground beef is just about cooked through. I just have a little bit of pink, and that's when I'm going to add my chopped up onion. I just did my little chore of buying a great big 15-pound bag of onions at Sam's Club, and then I chop them all up and freeze them in gallon bags so that I always have them handy. And this is left over from that little adventure. That one's a little big. Cut that in half. So we'll just let these cook for a little bit. The fat from the hamburger will help cook those onions, and we'll cook these for just a couple of minutes until they're translucent. So now this is just about the way I want it. While that was cooking, I opened and drained my green beans, and now I'm just going to prepare my pan. I've got, this is a giant 9x Pyrex. It's not the 9x13. It's a size bigger. I'm going to spray it with cooking spray. I use a bigger size because my husband loves tater tots. So I'm going to get that the maximum number of crispy tater tots. So here, my onions aren't cooked, but this is going to continue to cook for a while. So they have had enough time to get started here. And then I can get a colander in a bowl, and I'm going to line that with some paper towels to catch the grease. And I'm just going to pop this in there. And we'll give it a little stir and let that rest off to the side while I get ready to assemble everything. So we really don't need to use anything besides our dish here in order to put things together. I have my meat and onions. We'll pop that in there. I'll scrape out the onions because I love onions. And I'm really putting a lot of veggies in this because of trying to up the nutrition. So I'm going to put in 2 cans of green beans. You can use literally any combination of things that your family likes. I am doing a whole package of frozen mixed veggies. And we'll just dump those in on top. I like frozen mixed veggies. They're colorful and no prep work. The other thing I have here are some lentils that I cooked the other day. I often put lentils in any dish that has ground beef because they kind of look the same and it really ups the fiber content, keeps the protein nice and high, and it's just a really nutritious way. You can also use an extra pound of ground beef if that is your preference. And then, in order to make this saucy, we have a couple of cans of cream of mushroom soup. This is not healthy, but that's okay. It is one of the little shortcuts that really make things easier. You can do this a couple of different ways. Sometimes you can just spread it into a layer and kind of keep it as a layer. I don't tend to do that. I like to have it mixed in a little bit. And we'll get the other can. Always get the top of the lid. Don't want to waste any of that. And we'll spread that out. And then I will add some pepper. I don't want to add any salt. Canned soups are full of salt. I used canned green beans. We're going to put tater tots on top, so we're not going to need any more salt. And then give it a stir. You don't really have to do a great job of this because as the cream of mushroom soup melts, it's going to kind of cover the rest. But I like to give it a little stir. If you've ever made a tuna noodle casserole or a green bean casserole, it's kind of the same approach. And now I want to get that nice and flat because it's time for the tater tots. Yes. So I have it all smoothed out and we're ready for tater tots. I got the great big bag. We'll do this several times. And you can see that it's already been opened once. If you have a vacuum sealer, you can just use the seal functionality to reseal plastic bags. It's great for chips and cookies and all sorts of packaged things that you really shouldn't have in your house anyway. So I have here my tater tots, and we will go about arranging them prettily on the top of the casserole. So it's been about 25 minutes and it's starting to get brown, and you can see that it's bubbling. Everything's cooked in the filling, so we just need to make sure that it's hot. My family likes their tater tots extra crispy, so I'm leaving it down in the lower position, but I'm turning on the broiler, and that will help get those extra crispy and dark before we add the cheese. So now it's nice and golden brown, and I am going to add cheese on top. This is about 1.5 cups of Colby Jack cheese. This is totally optional. My family just loves cheese, and a casserole with crispy cheese on top is always a hit. So we'll put this in, and then we will keep this under the broiler for another couple of minutes until all of that is melted and delicious. So here's a tater tot casserole fresh from the oven. The cheese is melted, the tater tots are golden brown. The important thing here now is to let it sit. You can see it's still boiling around the edges. It's way too hot to eat, and the sauce will be really thin and it won't plate very nicely. So give it 10 minutes and then I'll plate it up and show you what it looks like. So I let it rest for about 10 minutes and then I plated it up here. You can see this was at
very easy weeknight meal. My kid is waiting anxiously for this, so I'm gonna go deliver it. So please subscribe and we'll see what's cooking next week.